All right, so they get back to the Batcave, and I did think that this was the one successful joke in the film, and that was the Flash's reaction to the Batcave. I laughed. I thought it was great. It's a cave. It's a Batcave. I thought that was very funny.
But how is he magically better?
Because I actually didn't notice that.
That was a 20-minute trip. So
I was enjoying the humor too much. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, he went from being worthless, not being able to move around.
So, all right. So this scene, I think, is the worst scene for Batman, for Bruce. I think that they meant to have another character do this, and it shouldn't have been Bruce. This is the let's talk about resurrecting Superman scene.
And here's my take on it. See if you can see where I'm coming from in this. Did they not just rip this exactly out of Age of Ultron? Batman is Tony Stark.
I did not hit that, but that actually does.
So Batman is the super smart guy who wants to protect the world, right? He identifies, in this case, Superman being able to protect the world. Tony Stark, Ultron, right? Nobody wants him to do it because they don't know what's going to happen. They know he can't control it, but he does it anyway.
Yeah, that's actually. I didn't think about that. That is pretty much the same thing.
Completely ripped it exactly out of there.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think that is pretty much a ripoff. I was more annoyed by the fact that I guess I was too distracted to notice by the fact that Batman suddenly knows a lot of science facts about how Superman's physiology
for no very good reason,
and how the mother box works.
Again, for no very good reason. Being as how he literally just found out about the technology 20 minutes ago.
It seems too obvious to be an accident, and I think it must have been intentional, therefore, but I think it's really stupid that it is almost the exact opposite line from Batman v Superman, where he said, even if there's just a 1% possibility that he's our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty. And in this one, he says, even if there's a fraction of a chance that he'll come back as Superman, then we must bring him back.
Opposite.
And it's like,
as a note, is that
you can't do that. It's dumb. Because you were actually right.
That was his whole motivation for wanting to take down Superman, was that.
Right, and he never got a reason to change his mind, other than Martha.
Which is.
So because he has a mom.
Where'd you hear that name?
Because he has a mom, a 99% chance that he'll come back as a monster is fine.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Doesn't make any sense.
All of his motivation for wanting to kill Superman, because he's completely jaded that Superman caused all this damage, and just, hey, I saw what you can do.
Because Superman in those movies is a horrible jerk and a monster who does damage to people and hurts people.
And that was him being good. So if he turns bad, it's game over. So we got to stop him right here and now. Cool. Hey, you know what? Our moms are the same, so I'm not going to end you anymore.
I thought that this needed to have a different character doing that, because Bruce is not the guy who wings it. This needed to be.
Who cares?
This needed to be Aquaman or somebody. This needed to be. They needed to have a more established Flash who is smarter, because Flash in the comics is a scientist. So they need he would have fit as the character, being a little more reckless. Have him convince everybody else, and Bruce should have been the one to say, "I don't think we should do this," because that would have been interesting. That he feels guilty for trying to kill Superman, but still thinks it's not a good idea to bring him back. It would have been more interesting for that to be his challenge, rather than just the obvious flipping to, well, I've got to make it right.
It would have been so much easier for it to be any other character, because they weren't involved in Batman versus Superman, so they didn't get to see those events unfold. Right. They don't know the power. But anyway, we're on the same page with that.
His line about Steve Trevor was really awkward and sounded really forced. Where she's like,
correct me if I'm wrong, that's not Batman's style to basically guilt trip people.
No, it's not. And it sounded just like Ben Affleck said it, because it's so awkward. And it's just like, did Steve Trevor tell you that?
He brings her dead boyfriend and taunt her for not being present in the world. Like, I don't think Batman would be the kind of person to be like, well, you're just a dumb idiot that does crime by yourself, so you're stupid. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Bruce starts preaching about Steppenwolf like he's the one who knew about him originally, even though he just found out about who he was. He didn't even know there was a Steppenwolf until this day, this literal day.
Woman. An hour prior to this conversation.
And he's preaching to Wonder Woman and everyone else about how Steppenwolf isn't going to stop. And how does he know that? He doesn't know anything more about him than anybody else does. His research, his great detectiveness has brought up nothing.
I'm the expert, and I'm a billionaire. Leave me alone.
Okay, so next he's talking to Alfred about contingency plans, and he says, "If I have to, I'll bring out the big guns." Now, this is where it gets really weird, really, really weird, because we know what the big guns are, right? It's Lois. Lois is the big gun.
Yes.
So then, doesn't that make it sound really weird when Bruce says, "I'll bring in the big guns," and Alfred responds with, "Those are very big guns." What does that mean? I'm so confused.
At that moment, the first time I thought it, I just figured like, oh, hey, he's still got some kryptonite.
Right, which would have been better because that fits Batman's character. Do the right thing and plan for the worst thing.
And that also makes sense with that line. And maybe the movie was written to be that way, like where he's going to show up with a kryptonite gun again, and Alfred's kind of judging him for it, like, hey, you almost killed him last time. Like, you sure you want to do that? Like Alfred's almost judging him if he went too far with it. But
that line didn't stand out to me until the second watch through. Once I knew that Lois was indeed the big guns, then it's so weird. It doesn't make any sense. Also, when does the Flash go back in time to talk to him?
Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't really thought about that, but yeah, that's a very good point. Bruce, wake up! It's a dream. Oh no, I'm back in time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I did like at the end of that scene where Bruce says, when Alfred says, "What if Clark has finally found peace?" and Bruce says he'll get over it, and that doesn't fit with the rest of the scene. That's the Bruce I want, is the one who's like, I'm going to do the right thing, even though it's
because he does
terrible.
that all the time, and that's kind of the curse of Batman, right? Is he takes on the loads of things.
He's the grown up. He's the adult on the team. He's the one who does what has to be done while everybody else is having fun and being idealistic.
Yep.
Okay.
So next scene is when they're resurrecting Superman.
Next scene is when I have some notes from digging up Superman first, that's one where Cyborg talks about the stories Diana told us, which does suggest that flashback
it's supposed to be around there
with the group. Yep. The fist bump is really stupid. Flash is really annoying when he's being awkward. Okay, so then just before they're resurrecting him, Diana says, "I'm here for him."
Yeah, right.
Which is stupid because they all are there for him.
They carried his dead body there. That's.
And then Bruce responds with, "I swear I would never." And she says, "Save it." What are they talking about?
I would imagine.
I swear I would never.
I think it was supposed to be like him apologizing for bringing up what's his face.
And that line, "I swear I would never." I swear I would never bring up your dead boyfriend.
I'm so sorry.
They did. Save it. It's like they took a scene from a soap opera and just inserted it. It doesn't make sense.
I say things I don't mean sometimes. I'm so sorry.
I swear I would never. Maybe he's just a teenage girl and he just wouldn't even. He just can't even. He would never.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, so all right, so now they sneak into the
they sneak into the whole ship.
So then, right as they're about to resurrect Superman, then they start discussing whether they should.
Well, you got to throw in some.
Aquaman sees the alien technology and says, "Well, this is crazy," and Flash is like, "Right now, it's crazy." I don't understand.
Well, that whole scene doesn't make any sense either because the Flash needs to generate enough electricity to jumpstart the machine or something because it's broken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
how much does he need to generate?
A lot.
How does he know how far he needs to run? As far as you can.
But again, with him moving as fast as he can, wouldn't he just be able to like jiggle in place and then touch the water?
Yeah. Run in place, then zap it. And also they play it off as, now this is I didn't come up with this thought on my own. I heard it elsewhere, but they play that scene off as though it's like a one chance to get it right. But if he misses, just do it again.
Just pick it up and do it again.
just pick it up and do it again. Or just have somebody hold it right on the tip of the water. Or have him carry it and drop it in himself.
Yeah, that would have been a lot easier. I didn't even think about that.
I just thought of that right now. We should be screenwriters. We should write Justice League.
You need to run a lot to make some electricity to jumpstart this thing, right? Cool. Okay, here's the block. You go for it. It's all good, homie.
Yeah. Or have Cyborg evolve another arm attachment that'll.
It just didn't make any. Why do you need to drop it? Why don't they just leave it in the water?
Have Aquaman just hold it in the water. He's good with water, right?
Ahead of time and knew it was going to melt in water or something. You know, like that whole scene just didn't make any sense.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the moment where they realize they need to charge the box, and then they're like,
no,
"But should we?" And they start having a philosophical discussion. Yes, we should. And Wonder Woman's like,
that scene was like an argument of the writers when they went back to Batman vs Superman. It's like, wait a second, the Abomination was created this way, so now we need to do the same thing to get Superman back alive. Yeah, but
it doesn't.
It didn't make any sense. So anyway, he goes back to life.
Okay, so wait, hang on a second. Before that, this is the first moment where you notice it. You really notice it in the post-credits scene. I don't know if you stayed through the credits.
When Superman races the Flash? Yes.
Yep. You really notice it there, but you notice it here first, which is that Flash doesn't know how to run. He runs like a person who's only ever read about running, but has never walked. Like he flails his hands outward, like he's trying to swim basically or falling something. Over. But he flaps his arms. Like I think they didn't. Like he never had run before.
I'm going fast now.
And I think they had him. I think they just filmed him tripping and then just duplicated it over and over again.
Like he's falling. He's just.
It's so bad. And in slow motion, it looks so ugly. He's perpetually
falling. It's just that's how he picks up speed.
It's so bad. Okay, all right. So he wakes up. He flies up into the air. It's pretty cool. He smashes into the ground. He's scanning them.
Superman's alive. Doesn't know what's going on.
They awkwardly stand in a row in front of him.
He's basically figuring out he has powers again. He starts scanning them.
Cyborg doesn't know how to turn off the gun, but he apparently also doesn't know how to just leave them. I don't understand. Just go away.
I believe the scene escalates because Cyborg picks up on that Aquaman's adrenaline is increasing. He's like, chill out, man. Your adrenaline's increasing. And Aquaman's like, he ain't right, bro. And then Cyborg's
defense systems kick in because Superman is acting grouchy. But can't Cyborg just leave?
So Cyborg...
he's like, I can't stop it. I'm not in control of this. Okay, then go away. Just run.
So Cyborg shoots a missile arm.
And it misses because Superman is super fast.
So Superman's like, haha, laser eyes. And Cyborg's able to absorb/deflect that until he gets punched across the room. And then Superman just promptly owns all of them at the same time.
Yes. So Wonder Woman lassos him with her lasso of truth.
Like, I'm way stronger than you, lol.
So he pulls her to him. And this is my note is, where did the rope go? Because it was wrapped around his arms. He pulls it. She flies to him, and there's no rope.
Punches her into outer space. Bam!
He's punching. He punches her. I liked the headbutt back and forth. That was funny. That was great.
What? So again, Superman is fast enough that he's able to stop Diana from banging her bracers together. Which again,
but I thought it was okay. I like that Superman was fast enough to get his hand between the bracers.
But again, we go back to the whole, this is kind of the end of Iron Man 2, where Tony waits to the last minute to use his crazy lasers that destroy all the robots. Just lead with that.
Area effective attack that's pretty high damage. Probably takes a few rounds to recharge.
Sure.
I'm guessing.
I don't know. Just throwing it out there. Battle for at least 5 minutes before she can use it. Okay, it's got to charge up.
Yeah, it's got a cooldown timer.
So can we use it once every 15 minutes, guys? Okay.
My next note is lip is weird.
Lip is weird.
His CGI lip. You didn't notice?
I did not.
Yeah, it's so weird. Every time he's talking, when it's up close, and like when he's asking Batman if he bleeds, and his whole face is jello.
Before that, though, I don't know how Batman is talking to Superman, considering he just killed him. By backing him into a police car. So,
he probably has like a cybernetic back brace.
Yeah, sure. We'll go
costume.
With that because you
something like that. Bat shock absorbers.
Saw him take off his costume in front of Wonder Woman, and there was nothing there. That's fine.
No, he brought the bat shock.
He brought the big guns. So
yes, the big
even
guns.
If that doesn't, this kind.
Alfred, I need the big
kind of the fact that Superman also broke his jaw picking him up, so he won't be able to be talking to him probably. this is the part that really annoyed me. I know you're going to laugh at this because it's a really tiny point that Lois Lane shows up in a Maybach, right? So Batman calls Alfred to go get Lois Lane, right? But if you notice, Lois gets out of the driver's seat in the Maybach. So explain to me how this goes. Okay, I show up at your door and say, Joe, you got to come with me real fast. You drive.
You drive.
Wait, what?
I can see that.
Where are we going? I'll direct you. Go. Let's go. That was super frustrating.
And also, what was, like, were they hiding around the corner?
Yeah, they had to be close.
So that when Batman says, I need the big guns, they can just be there?
Did Lois ever meet Alfred up to this point?
Why would
there's
she
no reason for it. So, hey.
Hello, I'm working on behalf of Bruce Wayne.
I need your assistance.
FYI, he's Batman. He tried to kill your boyfriend.
Your boyfriend.
Trust me, he didn't kill him. He died a different way. Just at the same time.
But then he brought him back to life, and he's kind of going crazy, so we kind of need you. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's go. You drive.
I thought it was pretty dumb for no one to keep track of the mother box, since that's like the whole point of all of this.
Kind of shows up and swipes it.
Yeah, he shows up. They don't do anything. They just watch him leave. Okay, so next scene, they're all mad at each other because the plan didn't work. Aquaman suggests that Cyborg is working for the enemy, even though there's been no indication that
I don't.
Like they keep hinting that he's like not in control of his mind, but we've never seen anything to indicate that he's not in complete control of his own mind. He's always in completely control of his own mind. The only thing that happened was his self-defense system kicked in.
Yeah.
And yet it suddenly turns into this, if you go under, we'll pull you back out.
I don't understand.
But he's never had a problem before, and then he doesn't have a problem again. I don't understand
why they chose to go that route. They should have went the route of, hey, you're kind of unstable. Not that you don't know what's going on, but like you keep learning all these new things about you, and we don't know what you're going to be doing from one moment to the next. Not that.
Or have him do things that don't make sense to the rest of the team and make it look like he might be under the influence of the mother box until you discover later that he had other plans. But just to have him, he's the closest thing to a stable, well-performing member of the team that they have. Like, he's the most consistent of all of them.
You're no good.
And he's the one. Yeah,
you're
it doesn't make any
sense. You're a Decepticon. And can I just comment? So when Superman and Lois Lane are back at the house, and I don't remember what they were talking about. I didn't really care because I thought that scene was just silly. Like, why would they go back to the house when Superman's trying to figure out what's going on? Because she's like, "You smell good."
Also, he smells.
No,
good,
I really doubt he does because he's been sitting underground for I don't know how long.
Well, but he's Superman.
Got thrown into a pool of alien goop.
Maybe the alien. Maybe the goop was actually
by Old Spice, perhaps. Yes.
Yeah. Didn't you hear when he comes out? You hear that like power.
Look down at me now. Look back. I am alive again. Oh boy. He makes a comment to her. He says, "And now I'm back to make things right." What? You don't know what's going on. We just established you have no idea what's happening.
And she's like, "I'm gonna have to send you away." And he's like, "Bruce, you have to help him."
The whole thing doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm pretty sure Superman would be going insane right about now. It's like, wait, I was dead and I got stabbed by what's his face. So explain to me what's been going on because I don't know. But it's fine.
Yeah. Very rushed, very bad. Didn't like it. Let's see. My next note. All right, so now Darkseid is kicking off the apocalypse. He's going to do the 3 mother boxes. The Unity. Praise the Unity. I have a note that his lips look better than Clark's, at least.
At least.
His face is less jello-y than
because it's just fully CGI instead of a person with CGI
right, instead of just like so weird. Okay. So apparently this is a nuclear power plant that had a meltdown, but is completely clear from satellite coverage.
Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it?
And there's people living there. There's no internet, no satellite coverage, no communication of any kind that would pick up that this is where the apocalypse is happening.
Yeah, bro.
At a melted down nuclear reactor.
That's just what happens at nuclear reactors. That's common knowledge.
Yeah, they melt down, real big disaster, and we just
Yeah.
shut them down.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
look.
don't ever go
look
there.
there.
Go away now.
Don't look. Move all the satellites we don't want to see.
So in that scene, it's all going down, right? The whole big fight scene and everything.
Before we get to the fight scene, so we get the scene where Aquaman sits on the rope.
I don't recall this.
Where he's like, we're all gonna die, and you know what?
That's fine. Yes.
Death is good, and he starts making. I thought that scene was actually pretty funny, and then they ruin it by dragging the punchline out. Like, it should have just been him making the speech, and then one little smirk from Wonder Woman, and he sees the rope and walks out. But instead, it's like a real slow pan as Wonder Woman smirks, and Bruce smirks, and Flash smirks, and they all smirk, and he sees the rope, and he's like, oh, and he throws it at Wonder Woman, and she smirks again, and he goes up to Flash and, don't you ever tell anyone I said that. And then Flash says his dumb line like, honestly, I didn't hear anything after we're all gonna die. It was a funny moment, and they ruined it with bad timing.
Who would the Flash tell? And why would Aquaman care about it? I'm pretty sure Aquaman lives under the water, literally. So,
well, and that's why he says if you tell anyone, you'll meet every
piranha
crab I know, prawn I know. Yeah, every prawn I know.
It's funny because he's Aquaman.
You're funny.
He's gonna eat him alive with fish.
Okay, so now we're back. We're in the fight. So why does Batman have a secret mission to crash land his plane into the tower?
To crash things.
Why is his secret mission to die? It's like they thought, you know what's really cool? When you have a brooding hero who has a death wish. But Batman hasn't had a death wish.
Hey, I need to go find a gun. I need a gun in this fight scene. I know how to.
He's never had a death wish in this whole series. He doesn't want to die. He wants to kill. So it doesn't make sense that he's like, I'm going to go sacrifice myself. Because I want to die.
Guns. I need a gun. I have another gun on the scene.
Okay, so he uses his 50 cal to shoot a bunch of the flying guys, which we know are converted humans or other creatures. And then Aquaman lands on his car and is like, yo, bro,
this is cool,
really
man.
Wicked awesome, dude. And then and then Aquaman jumps off of the Batmobile, and there is this high pitched Yahoo that doesn't sound at all like Aquaman. It's like they took a clip from the internet.
Exactly what they did. It was a generic sprite.
It was just a generic Yahoo. It didn't make sense. Oh, it made me angry. Oh, and then Cyborg catches him and says, "Ride ain't over yet." To which he replies, "My man." I was getting so angry.
It's bro code, man. You have to.
Bruce doesn't have a windshield, and then smashes through an entire building.
I have
no windshield. Doesn't get hurt. He just drives through things. He doesn't need a windshield apparently. Great design that you don't need the windshield even if you have it. So this is the point where I said Flash should be able to defeat everything because Cyborg starts working on separating the mother boxes and Flash says, I'll take care of this. And he goes and takes out like 15 parademons in a split second. He should be able to defeat every single enemy present
save
in
one
20 seconds.
Save one.
He's
go save one. And then you'll know.
They need to depower the Flash because at the speeds he's moving in this film, he should be able to solve all these problems by himself.
So you can acknowledge how fast he moves, yes?
Fast enough that other people seem to not be moving at all when he's moving.
Time his grapple gun perfectly to save the Flash when he makes a misstep?
Because he's planned for every contingency. Probably, actually, what you didn't see was he was probably shooting that grapple. He was shooting like 400 grapple guns, he just happened to hit with the one. He was just anticipating the Flash will be in one of these 400 spots in the next second.
You see him, and if you rewatch it, because I rewound that scene, you see Batman's head tracking the Flash. It's moving slowly, like they had enough foresight to actually do that in the slow motion as well. But Batman is actually tracking the Flash as he's following in that scene.
Yeah, the Flash's speed seems to fluctuate in this film because sometimes it takes him like 10 minutes to get across town, and other times he seems to be moving.
It's like teleporting. Yeah.
Right. He seems to be moving so fast that you literally can't see him. Yeah. Okay, so Superman shows up. I believe in justice. But you know what? I also believe in truth. No, wait, that's the reverse. See, that's why this is like that Yoda line. Pain leads to hate. Hate leads to anger. Anger leads to suffering. Suffering leads to the dark side. And I got that order wrong. And the point is, the order is irrelevant because they're all just generic words. So that line was also just a generic. I think it's and it was so contrived because you knew what they were setting up when Steppenwolf starts just monologuing all of a sudden, which he hadn't been doing. And then all of a sudden he's like, you just don't want to face the truth. Well, I believe in truth, but I also believe in justice. Punch. And that moment would have been good, cheesy, but it would have been good, and it would have made me smile. But my smile disappeared almost instantaneously because they almost immediately cut to, all right. Well, that was a good moment. It was cheesy, but it was good, and they cut to Aquaman.
My gripe with that is, so Superman just demonstrated that Steppenwolf wasn't anything compared to Superman. But why does Superman just leave then?
Yes, that's my next note is, how can I help? How about go beat up Steppenwolf? Like, he punches him through a wall, and then he stops and goes to Batman, and he's like, how can I help?
You just go do beating on him.
You were doing fine.
Let the Flash and Wonder Woman and Aquaman do everything else.
Go pin his arms. Go pin his arms behind his back, and we'll handle.
Just hold his head down against the floor and tell him all the bad things he did, and make him say sorry.
So then they split apart the. Well, they take out Steppenwolf. Well, I didn't really have any comments.
My comment on that was and this is just the frustrating part about Flash in this movie is the Flash is only fast when it's convenient. So he gets smacked by Steppenwolf several times when he should just be able, like you said, Steppenwolf's never had any kind of super speed. He should just be able to dance around him. But no, since it's
and even someone with super speed only moves at the same speed as the Flash. So he should be able to. He was dodging Superman.
Superman was dodging Steppenwolf, but the Flash couldn't dodge Steppenwolf. Wait, LOL, what?
That doesn't make any sense.
Superman and Flash just fought earlier on. Yeah,
Flash was
it's stupid.
I did enjoy the Flash saving the truck.
Superman saving the building. That was funny because that was pretty funny. The power level of like, haha, look at me, I'm strong. Sure, you're fast, but I'm strong and fast.
Yes, that was good. All right, so they defeat Steppenwolf. He apparently is afraid now, and this time they kill him instead of forcing him to retreat. And they conveniently look behind his helmet.
Yep,
he boom tubes away. And my comment about the boom tube, that's the teleport, is so that's literally what they're called in the comics is the boom tube. They should not be vertical because they look like the blue lasers from the Avengers movie, which was also a teleport. The portal to another place in space is a blue vertical beam.
The Bifrost
from Avengers. No, well, yeah, those two. Everything is a vertical tunnel. Like, but yeah, even the Avengers too. The Bifrost. The portal in Avengers and the Bifrost. They're vertical laser beam. But if you remember from the Justice League War animated film, it was a horizontal circle that just appears and they step out of it. That would have been so much better in this because it would have differentiated it instead of just being another vertical blue laser.
Well, that's just a fault of Hollywood stealing ideas from each other.
Yeah. All right, we're almost done. Okay, so they separate the mother boxes and they start cracking jokes.
Well, yes.
About how Superman wishes he was dead.
Yeah, it hurts, bro.
And Cyborg's toes hurt.
I don't know how my toes hurt.
That works. My toes hurt, and this is more than Superman has smiled in his entire life.
How did Cyborg repair himself so quickly? Because didn't Steppenwolf just rip off his legs like 2 seconds earlier?
He ripped off his arm, and I didn't notice if. Yeah. I think he did grow it back. So I didn't notice that. Yeah, good catch. Wonder Woman shouldn't be the one saying she's working with children. Bruce should be that one. Because Bruce is the adult.
Yes.
Bruce talks about his own mansion like he's never been there.
Yeah, I did.
Where he's like, "That's got to be like 100 feet."
I didn't get that.
Whoa!
What was the point of that
scene? How big is this mansion? They're talking about that's going to be the new Justice
okay.
League headquarters because he says a big oval table with 5 seats. Wait, a big
What?
oval table with 5 seats? Why do you need a 100-foot room for 5 seats? Because then Wonder Woman's like, and room for more. But that scene frustrated me because he acted like he'd never been in the mansion before. But his parents didn't die till he was a kid that would be old enough to have been in that mansion.
Very good point.
Then Wonder Woman has lassoed some burglars or robbers, and they're confessing everything to the cops. I'm thinking maybe the loophole was that this took place in England, but doesn't England have something similar to our Fifth Amendment, where you can't be compelled to testify against yourself? But Wonder Woman's lasso is just like, yeah,
what up? I'm a superhero.
Testify against yourself.
Ignore the law. But also,
yeah,
I'm going to stand for truth, justice, and everything right.
Yeah. Clark Kent is apparently back, even though he was dead and had an obituary in the Daily Planet. Be interested to see how they resolve that in the next movie.
Just he was on vacation. He was in Africa. He was
on safari
donating.
It was really awkward when he found out his mother had a funeral for him.
Jeez, Clark, you're supposed to tell your family.
I'm sorry. Oh, so weird. And then my last note is Flash doesn't know how to
respond. Because they race it. Meh. Yep. So, did you watch the other after credit scenes?
I did not. I watched the movie twice, and both times I forgot there was another after credit scene. I have since watched that scene. I think it is the dumbest scene in the movie, other than all the other scenes.
I don't know who Deathstroke is.
He is a villain from. Well, he's been a Batman villain.
Okay.
He's a villain in the Arrow
that's
TV
what I thought.
shows,
he's
Green
Batman
Arrow.
level. So why would Lex Luthor pair up with him?
Because don't you think we need a league?
But power level wise, that's like
because Justice League has a Batman.
So I'm gonna go recruit the Joker.
He wants to take down the League, and he needs someone that can take down Batman. That character is supposed to be the main villain in the next Batman movie, but thankfully they've thrown out that script, so hopefully we won't have a ridiculous, and obviously fake white-haired, plastic armored villain. Deathstroke is basically
just Batman, but evil.
Yeah, apparently he has honor. He does the contract.
Oh, that was Will Smith in Suicide Squad, right? Oh.
No, he was Deadshot.
Okay, those are different.
No, Deathstroke is a mercenary who sometimes operates as an assassin, sometimes as a member of.
So he's basically Deadpool.
Yes, he looks like
he's
DC's. He does not break the fourth.
He's basically
he's a serious
Deadpool.
Guy.
Got it.
He does not joke.
I was reminded at the end of that scene though of how bad of a casting choice Lex Luthor was. They needs to not be that person because that's. So did you watch the Daredevil series on Netflix? So the guy who plays Fisk,
Vincent
would
D'Onofrio,
he not be an excellent Lex Luthor?
He would, except he's already playing a much more interesting bald villain in a different superhero universe.
That's like, why weren't they going after someone like him? Because
it should have been the person that everybody was clamoring for, which was Bryan Cranston.
That would have been awesome because he can play a scary villain.
Now they still have it set up that they could fix this if someone decides to have a brain and fix it, and that is that in the Batman v Superman they make it clear that this is Lex Luthor Jr. So they can bring in an older Lex Luthor, but the fact that they put Jesse Eisenberg in this film makes me think
because they shaved his head. I don't. That.
Yeah.
No one's gonna be scared.
Well, so they shaved his head when they put him in prison, implying that they shave everybody's head when they put him in prison. But when he's in prison, he's able to get out by hiring a guy with a shaved head to impersonate him, because apparently he was the only person who got his head shaved in prison. I don't understand. Why didn't he put a wig on or something? It's not like unless he decided to shave his head because
he was too busy coercing senators with Jolly Ranchers. Yes,
and jars of pee. Well, you know what? I do hope he comes back for the next movie just so we can get more awesome scenes like that.
No, man, it wasn't awesome. Ugh.
All right, so would you recommend that people watch Justice League? Would you recommend that a loved one
absolutely not
watch Justice League?
I don't think that for the simple reason of I do truly enjoy the characters in the DC universe, and I feel like it sets up the wrong tone for all the characters. I would recommend somebody watches the Justice League War before this. I'd recommend people watch the animated Justice League series before watching this. I want anything other than this iteration of it, you should go watch, but not this movie.
Fair enough. I would actually recommend people watch Batman v Superman over this movie, because even though I think that is a bad movie on its own, I think it's less frustrating than this one, because this one has so many opportunities that it fails. Yeah,
it is a very frustrating movie, and it was just trying to do too much, I think, because they rushed into this movie with it really only having, well, Batman vs Superman was rushed into because they only had Superman as the freestanding movie before they introduced that Batman. And then this movie, in between Batman vs Superman and this movie, they only had Wonder Woman. So that means they didn't set up the Flash, they didn't set up Cyborg.
Oh, didn't you watch Batman v Superman? They had the
whole 15
YouTube
videos of character development. It was plenty.
Exactly. Yeah.
What was it? It was the convenience store scene to set up the Flash, right? Cyborg was just
the mother box building,
and Wonder Woman was in the movie, and Aquaman was just
he swam out of a wrecked ship. But actually, they probably cut off that video right before he said, "My man,
I found your camera, my man." All right, let's go. Make a movie. Lots of money. All right. Where's my cut? And again, I'm not trying to say that Marvel has better characters than DC, because I don't think that's true. I think they all both have interesting characters. I like a lot of both of the characters.
I think from just the conversation we've just had, we're frustrated because they're ruining the characters that we like.
Not that the Batman that was set up in this was like the technology that he has and the voice changer and there's lots of stuff I like about this Batman. It's just the whole issues with Superman, like where he's just killing people, doesn't give a crap about anybody. Like it's horrible. And then Diana from all the cartoons and stuff like that, she basically is just a female Superman. She acts very similar to Superman. She wants to protect people at all costs. But I think they should have played up Wonder Woman so that she's more unaware of modern day stuff. That's how she always was in like the comics and in all the cartoons. She just didn't know what was going on, so she's oblivious to stuff. And that was part of the
right.
Yeah,
the fun of the character. She's out of. She's a woman out of time.
The little things that they did in like the second Captain America movie, like where he's just writing down stuff to follow up on. And there's, they could have done that with Wonder Woman in this movie, but they just didn't.
Yep.
Womp womp.